All right, our Sunrise Smart Start today begins with some breaking updates from the Vatican. More black smoke from the chimney in the second day of voting at the Sistine Chapel.
That was about 1 hour ago, and you see the footage here. The second round of voting ended without the election of the next pope. No one still has secured the needed two-thirds majority, or 89 votes. That means the more than 130 cardinals are back at their Vatican residences where they're being sequestered. They're having lunch, and then they'll go back to the chapel in secrecy again this afternoon for another voting session. 2 more votes are possible later today.
And also breaking overnight here in our community, an early morning fire in Rochester forced several people out of their homes. This is the video News 8 collected from the scene on Lexington Avenue near Dewey Avenue. Our News 8 crew there learned 6 adults and 3 children have all been displaced and are currently receiving assistance from the Red Cross. We're told no injuries were reported here. And also happening today, a federal court hearing for one of the 3 men arrested in Rochester during that controversial immigration traffic stop back in March, as they're set to discuss a plea and sentencing.
That is what's named on the docket. Wilson Oswaldo Galvan Lopez charged with illegal reentry after he was deported to Guatemala in 2023. He was taken into custody during this video. You see what happened March 25th, the stop at Lyle and Whitney with the help of some Rochester police officers. Now, they were criticized by city leaders and the RPD chief for violating protocol for the sanctuary city status. If convicted, Galvan Lopez faces up to 2 years in prison. He's in court at 10 this morning.
The homeless man that police say tried to rob a Chase bank this week in Rochester is set to be arraigned today. Officers say 26-year-old Devontae Petone entered the bank on Monroe Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon, demanding cash from a teller. We are told that Petone threw a keyboard, then tried climbing over the divider in an attempt to reach the cash registers. Investigators say that he also chased the employees out of the bank. And when he couldn't get into those registers, he ran away. Well, investigators further say that police arrested him, Petone, shortly afterwards near Meg Street and Monroe Avenue. He faces charges for attempted robbery and criminal mischief.
RPD has arrested and charged a man in the hit and run that left a 12-year-old boy in critical condition for about a month now. 42-year-old Terry Britt is the man RPD says ran over the victim, named Elijah, at the intersection of Avenue D and Bowman Street. That was just after midnight, April 16th. The boy was riding an e-scooter with his father as they were going to a corner store late that evening. Witnesses say after the accident, Britt yelled a racial slur at the boy and his father before taking off from the scene. He was arrested on Lexington Avenue at an apartment building where police say they also found the car that was involved. As for Elijah, we did hear from his mother yesterday saying her child is showing slowly but signs of improvement.
So basically he's off the ventilator, which is amazing because the ventilator was basically helping his lungs and everything, so his lungs are doing better. He is looking at you, so he's opening his eyes. He's not communicative yet, but he is opening his eyes and looking at you. He is moving so much that they have to strap him down, so that's a good thing. They did say that he will have to be in a wheelchair because he cannot put pressure on his hip, so that's really kind of the only thing, but he's doing great. Like, he's really doing great.
It's incredible to hear. Now, Britt is facing multiple charges, including driving with a revoked license. That's from a previous DWI. He got appearance tickets and is back for an arraignment scheduled for the 21st.
New this morning, vineyards all over the state are ramping up their sustainability efforts, trying to adapt to climate change.
Ron Spitzer heard from some of the owners of a few vineyards in our area to learn about the process and the goal. Ron.
So in order to get that New York certified sustainable stamp of approval, you need to complete the Vine Balance workbook designed to guide grape growers on how to minimize environmental impacts, reduce economic risks, and protect employee well-being. You then have to achieve and maintain a minimum score and undergo an audit. I spoke with Scott Osborne, the president and co-owner of Fox Run Vineyards, and he says that using sustainable best practices also leads to good soil, which leads to better grapes and ultimately more delicious wine. Being a sustainable vineyard means they're composting, using mulch, not using synthetic fertilizers, and creating natural habitats for wildlife on the property. And then, of course, there's the more technological aspect, like using solar panels for energy. Osborne tells me that when he bought the land in 1994, he wanted to leave it better than he found it, a motivating factor for his efforts.
It's important to us, not only for our land and the grapes that we produce, but it's also important because we realize that those lakes are so important to the growing season here in the Finger Lakes that we can't destroy them. We can't let them get any worse than they already were when we started.
Unfortunately, Osborne says that Canadian Wine Club members have already told him they can't come for the next few years because of tariffs, and that's around 10% of his business. We'll share what other vineyards are doing to make your wine better later today on air and on RochesterFirst.com. Brennan?
Aron, thank you. Your Sunrise traffic report here, 6 minutes to go until 7. Yeah, how about that view from our Greater Rock Sky Eye? Conditions the only issue out there a little bit this morning in terms of any accidents, backups. We've been clear across our busiest roads throughout the city and on 390, 590, and 490. The Rochester Amerks will open round 2 of the playoffs Wednesday at home, and the opponent is not just the first place team in their division. The Laval Rocket, the best team in the entire AHL. The Amerks went 2-6 against Laval in the regular season. The last win came back in December, and now in the last 3 losses, it's been close. Rochester was either leading or tied after 2 periods. And as their head coach points out, Laval has not faced this particular Rochester team, especially with all the reinforcements coming from the Sabres and Buffalo. So the Amerks are very clear on what made the Rocket the best regular season franchise.
Top to bottom, there's not too many holes. They're deep. They got a really good goalie. I actually coached them at a USA Hockey event. Their top line, they're really dangerous, but they're also really good, like a forechecking team. They defend really hard.
They have more firepower, I would say, to capitalize on mistakes. So, you know, it's going to be more of the same. Just take care of the puck, use our speed. I think we can dictate games. So I think as long as we're protecting the puck and using our team speed, I think we can control it.
Let's take you through the schedule for the series. There will just be one location change. Laval has home ice advantage. That means the Amerks will host the first 2 games next week, Wednesday and Friday. The rest of the series will go to Quebec the following weekend. Tickets for the home games go on sale today at 10 this morning. And at that point, it'll be about 2 weeks since the last time the Amerks had played. Wow.
Yeah, they've had quite the rest.
Yes.
They closed out Syracuse away in Syracuse. So
they did.
There you go. There's your tip to close out Laval away.
Yeah.
Right.
Pick up something at home first. Yes. Weather headed out there. You look at the temps today, not getting very high at all.
No, stuck in the 40s for you just all day long, maybe just barely getting to 50 this afternoon. We got the morning drizzle around, should fade within the next few hours here. And then we wait. We'll kind of step up going into the weekend. So tomorrow also 40s and low 50s with scattered showers. 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Mother's Day looks lovely with cold air maybe to start. But how about next week? Upper 70s, near 80 AC. Kicking on next week.
Been waiting for it. All right. Thank you, James. That does it for us this Thursday. We're back in 30 minutes.
Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.